that if you guys have things that you need to shout out while I'm talking, you'll do it. I'm generally not comfortable standing in front of a room full of people and just talking. I'm kind of more interactive than that. I am the CD of a traditional, big, theoretically lumbering ad agency. And I work in Toronto, and I think that probably my job makes me different from a lot of the people who will have been speaking to you over the course of yesterday and who will talk to you today. And I had the most amazing thing happen yesterday, no, right, I lie, Friday, when I was on my way up here. I was on the bus, and I was sitting next to a young woman, and we started talking because the ride is long, as I'm sure all of you know, and the weather was bad, and you need to be distracted from fog and snow and things like that. And she said that she had a small digital content creation company that worked in the area of streaming media. And she started to talk about some of the work that she was doing. And she said to me that she thought that the future of that whole area of the digital business was really about connecting with brands and making that relationship and creating programming that frankly practically goes back to the early days of television, which is why soap operas were invented and all of that. And she said, we're really far behind in Canada from what she's seeing from other countries, particularly the US. And I agreed that that was so, and she did not know me and I did not know her. And she said, there's only one really great thing that I've seen in the last year out of Canada. And that is a thing called Waking Up Hannah that was done for Dove. And I went, I did that! And she said, what do you mean? And I said, I did that! Right? She's like 25 and I'm not. And I'm like, oh, giddy schoolgirl. Wow, somebody young thinks I'm cool. I'm so excited. And the truth is that, okay, I didn't do it, but my people did it. I didn't do it alone. No, my people did it. That was my client. And I am not a web native like my son or lots of people in this room, probably almost everybody. And I am a convert, however. And like most converts, have all of the energy and excitement and passion and curiosity that goes along with that. And I am extremely fortunate to have clients who are equally curious and interested and very courageous. And I think that it takes courage for big brands like Unilever and Procter & Gamble and all of the, and frankly, big agencies to venture into this territory. And I was on the Webby's site, which is obviously a great source of interesting activity around the world on the web. And one of the things that really struck me, aside from how interesting and fun a lot of the stuff that's happening is how few advertising agencies' wares are presented there. And I kind of put it, I think that there's a blank space right now that not that many people have ventured into effectively, even though a lot of people are dipping their toes in the water. And that's this space between advertising agencies and digital companies. And what I perceive to be happening is that advertising agencies are missing the fact of what a huge opportunity is in front of them. I do a lot of teaching, and I'm so envious. Like every class I ever teach, I go, oh my God, I wish I was starting now. Because I don't think there's ever been a better time to be involved in communication, which by its nature is two-way. And branded communication, until extremely recently, has only ever been able to be one way. And it's so much more interesting now. And I think agencies are not fully grasping that. Marketers, and I would say, I think it's evidenced by, again, how few agency people are here. That seems sad and tragic to me, given that this has been opened up into my world. And the other thing is, so if we're missing the space, digital companies are missing the brand and the narrative. And in the end, we're all raised from birth being told stories, and communication is fundamentally about engaging in storytelling, whether you are a storyteller, a participant, someone who builds on that story. We all make up stories for our kids out of nothing. They add to them, and those things become legend and lore in any individual family. And so I think that up until now, I was actually at a talk not that long ago, and the speaker said that he believed that up until this moment, the digital space has been the domain of the scientists, and only recently has it become the domain of the artists. And I think that that's true to a large extent, that the storytellers are now engaging, and that's changing what's possible and where it can go and the kinds of things that are available to people. When I was a kid, I believed wholeheartedly in the idea that there were parallel universes, and I was absolutely sure that Middle-earth was real. And I just never really could understand why it wouldn't be. It seems like there's a very thin film, really, between us and everything that is possible beyond what we can see. And then I grew up and I, put away that childish thing. And now I re-believe it. And I think that the web is Middle-earth. And where I used to think of it as, a medium when I very first started working in it, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I used to think of it as a space where you put things, a channel, which seems to make it smaller. But I didn't know. I was learning like lots of people. And now I think of it as an extra room on my house, a place that you can decorate and change and invite people over and have a conversation with them and share recipes and talk about your kids, and and I think that people who kind of grew up in that area probably already think, what the hell is she talking about? And what century did she grow up in? But the truth is, for me, that was like a radical shift. And I think that in agency land, that shift is what is producing the most spectacular smashing together of content and interactivity and all of that stuff.